Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today for this webinar. My name is Sushil, and I'm the Senior Product Specialist at Finjen Corp. And Finjen Corp, as you know, is the developer. We are a company. We are all part of Finjen Corp, and we are the ones who developed ReachOut, and it's a product that we've designed and developed for the field service industry. And Fingent is the leading provider of custom software solutions, and we've been in business for almost 18 years now. And I'd like to take a second to, once again, thank you all for joining. So we are seeing a lot more people joining in right now. So thank you all for taking this time to join us for this session. So today we are hosting an exclusive webinar to introduce our new version of ReachOut. We call it the version 6.0, the ReachOut 6.0, and walk you through some of the improvements that we've made as the entire team. We all have been working towards this for the past 6 to 8 months, and we're super excited to sharing this with you. I think there's no other audience better than you guys to share this with. So to quickly introduce the panelists, we have Stephen Cummings, Senior VP of Sales and Marketing. And along with me, I have Bala, who's a product specialist, who would be walking us through the webinar, especially the web and mobile demo. We'll see the live version of the new version. This is something that we are doing before we actually go live. So that's why it's exclusive to you all. So I'd like to invite Stephen to say a few words before we get started with the agenda. Stephen, if you will. Stephen, you may be on mute. I think you're speaking. Sorry about that.
Thank you so much. I forgot to turn off the microphone. Turn it on. So thank you very much, Sushil, for the introduction. I just wanted to take a moment to thank everyone for taking a few minutes to join the presentation today, and hope you will find something to take away and get ready for the new release. We're all really excited about this particular version. We've spent the last many months transforming ReachOut technology, moving some of the foundational technology to the very latest technology that can help us with our performance and with enabling some new user experience options. As you'll see later today, and I hope you appreciate the work that's been put into it so far. So with that, I'm going to pass it back over to Sushil and ask you guys to pick it up from here. Thanks so much.
Yep, thanks, Stephen. Pretty good. And just a little housekeeping, if you will, before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, you have a Q&A option in your on the bottom portion of your Zoom panel, the control panel. So you'd be able to ask your questions any point in time during the presentation. So you do have a couple of options. You could make it anonymous, so we never know who asked that question, if you will, and the otherwise. So and we'd like to discuss all those questions towards the end of this presentation. And focus on the webinar, if you will, and we're very excited. So I'm just going to gently turn off my video so that we can focus on the presentation. So hopefully you can see the screen here, and you could see my mouse moving. So we get into the quick agenda here. So we'd like to cover some of the key aspects, especially around a quick intro and some enhancements that we've done with this 6.0 release. Along with there's a quick pricing update as well, which we are excited to share with you all. And then Bala is going to help us walk through the web and mobile application to showcase the improvements. And then we take some time to discuss the Q&A. So moving forward, a quick insight into our story. So back in 2016, we, as a product, started off, if you will, with a survey kind of a feature, and slowly and steadily we moved towards bringing a lot more value and benefits into the field service industry, So business owners, small, medium enterprise customers across different regions and industries. We've been partnering with them. We've been working very closely with them to understand what are they experiencing and things like that. So based on that, Fingent is the company that we are all part of, like I said, and we designed and developed this field service management software, which we are only looking to enhance and improve as we go every quarter, every year, and so on and so forth. So we've had a steady growth in terms of customer base, and this is very close to us, especially the customers who are actually using it for their business. We understand what they are experiencing and how we can provide more value. And on that note, we are currently serving upwards of 9 industries at this point in time, and also are in 55 different countries that are being used at this point in time as well. And so in terms of success, I think we stick back to our philosophy as a product, and it revolves only around the customers and bringing more value to the experience that the customers really go through, because field service industry is a very fast-paced industry in our opinion, and time's money really. And what we've done is last couple of years or our past releases, what we've done is we focused on increasing our features, and these features add a lot of value and benefit to the day-to-day operations. And one such example that we can clearly point out is the digital forms, if you will. And going from paper to digital is something which is very close to our heart, and we've got absolutely like exciting kind of a response when we launched this feature a couple of years back. And so on and so forth, like in terms of, you know, connecting with the business email, so you can send out emails from your system to your customers, especially in terms of invoices or work order reports and things like that. And we've also integrated with accounting software, which we are again looking to improve. Currently, we are with QuickBooks Online and Xero Accounting. And also, you know, one of our previous release, we also brought in the multi-crew feature, wherein multiple people could do a particular job at different times and things like that. And some of the other features, like, you know, to help the installers and agents sort of plan their day-to-day activities. They could also that they need to cover all the jobs that they have in mind. So the focus right now has shifted in terms of previous releases. We did a lot of features. Now it's the time to do or improve on the system as a whole in terms of the performance, the UI UX, which is the user experience, and the ease of use in terms of creating jobs quickly and going so on and so forth, in terms of even saving those few minutes and seconds wherever needed. So on that note, we've received a lot of feedback, and this is all coming from a very special side of our, which is the customer feedback. And the whole team have brainstormed and realized that we're now trying to use the latest technology and improve the experience and the usability within the system, and at different points on the system. And when I say system, I'm also referring to the web and the mobile application, which are used by the installers. So on that note, I mean, we've condensed the menu, we've created a global, so we're going to see all of this live actually, so I don't want to take a lot of time here explaining this out. So we'll see all of these things during the demo. But all in all, the mobile application has also been given an entirely new interface, which is easier for the installers agents to operate, and it becomes more valuable in our opinion, which is what we're going to see in a few weeks' time when everything goes live. Now, coming to the pricing, so this is a very interesting pricing change that we brought in. So we thought, why not club this with the earlier, sorry, can we go to the previous slide, Bala? Yeah, sorry. So the pricing, right now we have 3 users for $90, and every additional user that you'd like to add is only for $12. So that's a creative new pricing that we brought in for the monthly offering, and also for the annual offering that we have right now. If someone wants to convert from a monthly to an annual billing, they get 2 months additional discount. So all of this will be going live on our website soon. So I'll be disclosing the date at which we'll be going live towards the end of this presentation as well. So right now, we can get into the exciting portion of the presentation or the webinar. So I'll invite Bala to share his, go walk us through the web as well as the mobile portion. So Bala, whenever you're ready, I think we can go ahead.
Yes, thanks, Ashil. Thanks for that introduction. So, hi guys. I'll be walking everyone through the web and mobile application. Of the major changes we've made in the web and mobile applications of ReachOut. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, in this version, what we've actually tried to do is to simplify the interface and declutter to keep what's important, and at the same time improve accessibility in the system. So for instance, if you look at the menu on the left of the screen, we've kept the most important and relevant topics there, while the smaller topics are actually grouped under respective headings, which are the important topics that you still see there. For instance, all the data related to the customers, like the invoice you create for customers, the quotes you create for customers, the customer data, your customer database, and all the tickets you create for the customers are actually now under one topic, that is CRM. And as you can see, we used to have inspections and work orders handled separately in the system. Now, even that we've clubbed together under one umbrella called jobs. And yes, the parts inventory for marketplace are few things that we've kept from our previous version. Now, on that note, if you look at the overview screen, even that has been decluttered and simplified, and we've kept what's most important. You can get an overview of, what's happening with the work orders and what's happening with the inspections, and you'd be able to track those separately on the overview section. Now, there were users and teams and settings section in the menu as well. Now, those we've sort of carried over to the top right corner over here. Now, we'd be getting into that for a bit, but before that, I wanted to show you guys something really cool that we've brought in with this version, which is the global create button. Now, as you can see here, anything that you would want created in the system, like a customer, a ticket, an inspection, a job, an invoice, or a quote, can be created on the go using this global create button. So whichever screen you're accessing, if you need to create a job quickly or customer quickly or anything, it's actually a click away. And yeah, other than that, diving into the settings. Yes, so all the major changes that you might need to make with the system regarding your business, and setting up options regarding your business, you'd be able to do that under preferences. So everything like invoice settings, business hours and holidays setup, and business emails could be set up under preferences. And every customizations that you might need to make regarding ReachOut, the platform is now clubbed under customization. So all the tickets, codes, work orders, inspections, and parts inventory settings that you might need to play around with are now clubbed under customization. And external integration, as the name suggests, is your means of linking your accounting software with ReachOut Suite. Account settings is how you'd be taking care of your billing, payment, and your company details in the system. Now, diving a bit more deep into like what we just saw, like I was talking about, we've made some tweaks to the UI, making it more simpler. So as you can see here, this is what the customer screen looks like now. When you need to edit an entity, we've actually brought in a new sliding window. So in order to add entity or edit customers in the system, you actually have this option that the sliding window sort of pops up from the right side, enabling you to edit what you desire. At the same time, you'll be able to like look at what you were working on. So this window will pop up when you're trying to add entities or edit customers in the system, or when you're trying to like view entities in the system as well. Now, let me quickly go into jobs and show you something else that we've like brought in this new version. So I was saying we have sort of clubbed the work orders and inspections under one umbrella now, that is jobs. So you're looking at the listing of all the work orders that are now in the system. Now, you might need to like go through these and find that one particular job you're looking for, or a set of job that you're looking for. And once this list get populated, that might get a little bit difficult for you. So we've introduced a new filter in the system, which would allow you to filter jobs according to their statuses, priority, date, and field agent assigned to them. And you'd be also able to like sort them in whichever order that you might find useful. So not just creating filters, once these filters are created, you'll also have an option to save these filters. Now, what that would do is that when you leave the system and come back in, that filter would be pre-applied, letting you see what you really want and not everything. Other than this, we've also like set up another option to edit this view that you're looking at. In the listing view, against customer, you can see details and service location and an option to edit. But let's say you need to like bring in a few more details so that you can look at the job without going into each job specifically. You actually have the option for that over here. So let's say we need to add the due date and priority of the tasks to this table as well. Now, this is how you'll be making that possible. But other than this, we also have the grid view and the pipeline view, to take a look at jobs. Now, the grid view would show you the jobs with their ID, their priority, the agent assigned to them, the status of that job, and the due date for which they're scheduled. The pipeline view would allow you to like take a look at jobs according to their statuses and manage them according to their statuses only. Now, this was actually, like a very brief overview of the major changes that we've brought in the web application for ReachOut. Now, let me take a moment here and switch to my mobile screen so we can take a look at the major changes over that platform as well.
Okay, so while Bala is bringing up his mobile screen, I just wanted to remind you all, if at all you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the Q&A section in your control panels. Pretty easy to drop them. That's all we have, and then we can discuss towards the end of this. Yep, over to you, Bala.
Yes, so
We can see screen. Yep.
Yep. So this is the home screen of the mobile application. Now, as we were discussing before, we've tweaked the UI, we've made changes to like how the system looks. We changed like colors for a bit. And also like in the mobile application, in order to make the life of the field agent a bit more easier and more effective, we've gotten rid of the menu we had previously, and we've introduced jobs and inventory on the home screen. Aside from that, the menu that we used to have earlier used to be a pop-up that used to pop up from the left side of the screen. Now, instead of that, what we've done we've fixed a stable menu on the bottommost part of the screen, which would give you access to every module in the mobile application on whichever module you're working on. Now, other than that, we also have a quick filtered view in the home screen that would allow your agent to apply custom filters to the list of job he has. So in case if he needs to like look at the jobs that are assigned to him for today, then he'll only like need to see that. So using the custom filters, he'd be like able to like pull that information on his screen. Now, Aside from custom job filters, we've like also made changes to, the job completion interface as well. Now, this is how the job details and customer details related to the job would look like to the agent. It would have all the necessary description that comes along with the job, the site at which the job is being allocated, the entity which the agent need to look into, and also if there are like any attachments with the job, those would be displayed as well, as well as the customer overview, which is like a brief summary of the customer details. Now, post this, he has the option to sort of go into the job and look at the task that he need to complete and mark it as completed. On that note, I must say that we have kept the offline capability intact so that in case your agent gets to a location where he doesn't have network coverage, he'd still be able to like fill the forms and complete the job. Once he is in an area with network coverage, he can actually submit it and mark his task as completed and submit the job. So that was the job completion interface. And other than that, this is what the inventory would look like. So inventory would contain all the parts that are specifically assigned to this user. Now, allocation and return of items still work with permissions. So in case this agent needs an item assigned, the administrator or the account manager would allocate that from his web application, and the agent need to accept it from his end in order to add that particular part into his inventory. Returns work the same way, and routing is, then again, another interesting feature we had brought in and which we've, sort of enhanced for this is the routing feature. Now, as you can see, you simply need to like select the jobs and fetch. Once you click on the fetch route option, it will actually, set up the route in an optimized manner for you, allowing you to, optimize your route for the day. Now, other than that, another important addition we've brought in is actually the help module inside the more options. Now, if your agent has like trouble, going around the application, navigating through it, or if he needs to like find out how to do a specific task in the application, he'd have the help capability in order to go in and see which topic is that he needs help with, and he'll be receiving necessary steps. He'll be directed towards necessary steps and videos on our website through this channel. Now, these are actually some of the major changes that we've brought in to your favorite field service companion, and that was actually a bit of an overview on the major changes that we brought in. So over to you, Sushil.
Yep, I appreciate that, Bala. I think you mentioned that it's more like a companion now. I think that's the tag that we'd like to give, especially taking into consideration the agents and technicians who are going to go on the field. The app has to be like a companion to them because all of the work gets scheduled from the web and it gets into the mobile app at different tiles that you saw right now, which Bala was trying to show. So thank you so much, Bala. I think it was great. I think we covered all of the points that we wanted to share. And thank you so much for that. Okay, so now I think we are coming towards the end of this webinar. And we have, I'm just going through some of the questions here. I think a few questions that have been asked. So feel free to drop in some of the questions if you guys have, and then we could take that. I can see a couple of them here. I can see if I were to read one of them. How do we make the transition to the new system on web and mobile? Do I need to reinstall the app? No, not really. So how the transition really happens is when we launch, when it's all going to be like automatically migrated to the to help the existing users, especially the data that they already had. Everything will be automatically migrated. And I could break that news here. I mean, we are trying to launch this on September 5th, which is actually a Sunday, wherein the new version of ReachOut is going to go live. So that's a quick answer to that. So I just answered. So there's another question. There are a lot of features my business may not use. Is there a way to customize what I see? Yes. So if there are more features that you think ReachOut has and you may not be using them, we do have a settings wherein there's something called as the menu management, wherein you could hide certain menu from your existing window, which could help you sort of better organize and better manage without getting distracted by a lot of items. But especially, and on the flip side, you could also personalize or customize it to your business in terms of setting up your business emails, following your business nomenclature. You want to add your currency, all of that, like the business address, the terms and conditions for the invoice quote. All of that can be done from the settings. I hope I answered that. So I have a question from Patty. Patty asks, how long does it take for someone to answer a support ticket once submitted? Also, is maintenance done periodically, and does it occur during normal business hours? That's a very good question, Patty. So for us, the SLA, the standard, the level of agreement is more like within 30 minutes is what we say, and our customer support teams are mostly available 24/7. And just taking into consideration the weekends, if you will. So bear with us on that. But on weekdays, for sure, we would be available. There's a separate customer support team which is answering all your questions. The questions could come in as chat, which is the best way for us to interact with you all. And that's the first part of the question. So we essentially try to answer that in the first half an hour of a support ticket which has been sent to us. And also the maintenance, we usually have planned maintenance. There has never been a case where there is an unplanned maintenance. So we always put up a banner or a notification inside the app. If I were to specify, it'll be somewhere on the top, wherein you could see a quick maintenance message out there, which can help you prepare. And again, it usually is not placed at normal business hours, because we cater to a global customers. We try to place these maintenance, which usually last for about 15 and 20 or maximum 30 minutes. And usually because most of our customers are from the US and Northern America and all that, we try to make sure that it doesn't overlap the normal business hours. That was a very interesting question. I have more questions out here, so I'm just going one by one. What are the initial one-time development and implementation cost? So there aren't any one-time development or implementation costs. I'm not sure if I understood that question right. It's more like it's a SaaS system. So just like Netflix and other services out there, you pay as on a monthly basis or on an annual basis. So there aren't any one-time development or implementation costs. If that answers properly. So obviously there's a monthly fee, and it starts off with $90, and every user that you'd like to add, it's going to cost you $12 per month. And a user is defined as it could be somebody in the office or somebody going out on the field. So those will be treated as two separate users. So every user will have an access to the web and the mobile app, because we share the mobile app also is coming along with this package. So there are no additional fee for having a mobile app. Are there plans to bringing in multilingual support to reach out at some point in time? Stephen, would you like to take that question for us?
Sure.
So the question is, are there plans to bring in multilingual support to reach out at some point?
Well, we do want to focus on providing a multilingual option. And the plan is to make that a high priority for hopefully before the end of this year. We've done a significant amount of work here, and our intention at first will be to roll out a Spanish version, but there will be other languages that may be added as well. And I think if you have particular requirements for multilingual support in terms of user interface, please let us know and we can get that in the queue.
Awesome. So I was just closing some of the questions that we answered. All right, so there's another question which is not asked. How do I get support in case of issues? Yes, so in case of unforeseen issues, you do have a chat option. The intercom, we use intercom, so there's a chat option. You can get in touch with the customer support team directly, would be available during your business hours, and otherwise. You do have an option to share some screenshots or video recordings. All of that is possible if at all you run into some unforeseen issues. Otherwise, there's another channel. You could also write to us in an email, info@reachoutsweet.com. That's INFO, info@reachoutsweet.com. Or it could be support@reachoutsweet.com. So you can attach your findings or some comments that you'd like to share, and we would be answering that on priority basis. So do we have the ability to add multiple forms to a job still? Yes, you do have the ability to add multiple forms to the jobs. Be it right now, we are calling it as jobs, like Bala said, because under jobs, you do have work orders and inspection, and you would be able to add multiple forms for both work orders and inspection. Both forms being standard or styled forms. That way. Okay, and I have Moily, who's asking a question. Is our data safe, and would we get the data at the time of exit whenever we decide to separate? Stephen, would you like to take that question? I can repeat that for you. Is our data safe, and would we get the data at the time of exit whenever we decide to separate?
Well, I would note that the data belongs to you. It's not owned by Fingent or ReachOut. And if you want to exit or not use ReachOut anymore, you would export your customer data to a CSV file. And likewise, you could do the same for your jobs.
Pretty good. Okay, thanks, Stephen. So there's another question. How do I see the work orders and inspection in the new system? Also, will the inspections and work orders be displayed in one screen on the mobile app? That's a very good question. So right now, inspections and work orders are, however, treated separately on the web side of it, under jobs. And at the same time, when it comes to the mobile, we wanted it to look like jobs, as naturally jobs, so that the agents and technicians do not really separate. So at the same time, we actually have clear differentiators like symbols like WO or IN, which is also displayed on the mobile screen. Okay, so we have a few more questions to go. So there's a question, can an employee see their full calendar on the mobile app? Also, is Gantt chart available? Good question. So employees at this point in time, they do not see calendar on the mobile app. However, we wanted to specify, there are two things. We want to specify that, clearly specify the date and time, and it's also sorted. So you do have a sorting or filtering based on today's job. What are the jobs that are pending? What's coming up for tomorrow? All of that, like different filters out there, which can help you identify the jobs that you need to attack for today, and so on and so forth. So as such, we don't have a calendar, but we've seen some customers really ask us that question, and I think we'll be curious to seeing more information around why a calendar, or how a calendar could really help the technicians or the agents. Right now, the calendar is solely on the web side of it. On the mobile, yeah, maybe there is a chance that we could probably bring it into the mobile side. We'll be interested in exploring more on that. And Gantt charts, at this point in time, it seems like you're asking that question from a project standpoint. That's a very interesting portion that we are also trying to brainstorm in terms of managing clear projects, which can extend over like a month or two, or even for weeks. So that view is also not available at this point in time, but that's something that we are actively exploring. Okay, how often would new releases features happen? We always have planned feature releases, and feature releases usually happen on a quarterly basis. If no, and also it also depends on the kind of feature. So it could be like a complex feature that we're trying to bring in. So that would take probably a couple of quarters to get us released, and otherwise there could be subtle improvements of features that we could take like a couple of weeks to get it out, into the new system. So it kind of depends, but most of it are, almost everything is planned. So there'll be notifications going well in advance whenever there are feature release, and once it's released, then we also send out appropriate emails and notify customers saying that we've launched certain features. Can I book a personalized demo for my business? Yes, 100%. And you would be able to use our chat functionality, or write us an email, or express your interest in terms of booking a demo, and we can 100% have you have a personalized demo which can last for 30 minutes or 45, even 60 minutes, based on how much of a value that you can, we can give you and you can extract from us. Can we launch an auto promotional activity like contracts, etc., campaign to customer? I think that's a good question. So it seems like you want to ask, Stephen, would you want to take this question? The question is, can we launch an auto promotional activity like contracts or campaigns to customers? To as a business, I would want to put out a campaign from ReachOut. That's a question.
Well, that's not something we can do at the moment, of course. Might be interesting to understand the use case for that kind of a scenario in this context of field service. But sounds like an interesting thing to think about. Maybe you could get me some more details about what you're trying to do, and we can explore it a little bit further.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Stephen, I think you have another question which is on the same line. What changes are we bringing in ReachOut? I think ROS, they meant, it seems like it is ReachOut Suite in the future.
We have a pretty aggressive schedule of new features that we plan to be bringing out. A lot of the activity in the recent months have been on this development of the new technology for the platform. And now that that is done, we'll be focusing more intently on new features. As I said, multilingual is one capability that we see coming out, but I don't want to promise anything right now, much more than that. But we are going to have a pretty aggressive schedule of new features.
Pretty good. I think I'm going to just take one last question here. Can the calls get logged on the web directly by customer? So the answer to that is, at this point in time, we have not integrated with VoIP-based capabilities, but right now the calls that are coming in can still be recorded as plain text, and then it can still be treated as a ticket, and that ticket can be converted to the actual job based on the nature of the ticket or the nature of the call. So we haven't. So if we were to bring this feature, we'll have to integrate with the VoIP-based systems out there, so that the actual call recording of the customer itself is getting logged into the system. So we'll be curious to seeing how that can benefit the industry or the businesses at large, and then take it forward from there. Okay, so where are most of our customers from? Yeah, most of our customers are from the US and North America. We've been getting a good bit of traction from UK, European countries, as well as Australia. And of late, we've been getting some traction from the Middle East as well. And on the flip side, we do have a lot of customers from South Africa and Caribbean and things like that. Okay, so I think we've come to towards the end of this discussion and the webinar, and I'd like to thank you all for making it to the webinar, and I think it looks like we've covered all the most of the questions that we had, and I'd like to thank you all. I mean, the release, the launch itself, how can I miss that? Itself is going out live on September 5th, which is actually a Sunday. And all of the existing users that have been using ReachOut, which our customers are, and all of the data will be migrated when the launch happens live. Because this is a Sunday, we'd like to think that you'd be on break, and we're going to take like few minutes to get those sorted, and fresh on Monday next week, you'd be seeing the new version of ReachOut. And on that note, I'd like to take another second to again thank you all. Thank you all for joining us today, and we will see you next time.